Donald Trump is facing an unprecedented political firestorm after a bipartisan group of 47 members of Congress formally demanded his resignation, throwing Washington, D.C. into turmoil. The trigger for this extraordinary move was the leak of a classified memo alleging that Trump interfered with U.S. military operations for personal, political gain while sensitive national security missions were underway. According to sources who reviewed the document, Trump personally ordered delays in critical defense authorizations because certain military commanders had not publicly endorsed his policies. This is not a routine political controversy or a partisan disagreement. What makes this moment historic is that members of Trump's own party have joined Democrats in calling for a sitting president to step down. When Republican members of Congress publicly break ranks to demand resignation, it signals that something deeply serious has occurred. Many observers say the situation is comparable to the Watergate era, when bipartisan opposition ultimately forced President Richard Nixon to resign. Tensions between Trump and Congress had been building for months over budget disputes, executive overreach, and repeated clashes with military leadership. However, according to reporting published on December 28th by Politico, everything changed when a classified memo was leaked to multiple congressional committees. The memo, dated approximately 3 weeks earlier, allegedly shows Trump instructing his chief of staff to delay key military authorizations until specific generals agreed to appear at campaign rallies and publicly support his agenda. This was not a disagreement over military strategy or policy. It was an alleged attempt to use national defense as leverage for political theater. When members of the House Armed Services Committee reviewed the memo in a secure facility, they reportedly agreed that the conduct crossed a line that could not be ignored. It is important to understand how rare congressional resignation demands truly are. They are not issued over policy disputes or ideological differences. They occur only when lawmakers believe a president has fundamentally violated the oath of office. According to multiple outlets, including CBS, CNN, and Politico, an emergency closed-door meeting was held on December 27th. The meeting included 31 Democrats and 16 Republicans. During the discussion, Republican Congressman Michael McCaul, chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, reportedly stated that the evidence was incontrovertible and that remaining silent would make members complicit. Democratic Congressman Adam Smith described the memo as a clear abuse of power that endangered national security.
After 3 hours of deliberation, the group drafted a formal letter demanding Trump's immediate resignation. The letter, released publicly on December 28th, states that Trump violated his constitutional duties as commander-in-chief by subordinating national defense to personal political objectives. According to the Washington Post, the language of the letter is unusually blunt. It accuses Trump of placing American lives at risk, undermining military readiness, and betraying the trust of service members who rely on civilian leadership to act in the national interest. The political shock intensified when the letter was read aloud on the House floor by Congressman McCaul himself. Reporters in the chamber noted that his voice shook with emotion as he explained that, as a military veteran and longtime supporter of the president, he could not remain silent when evidence suggested politics had been placed above the safety of American troops. This moment fundamentally altered the political landscape. When a Republican committee chairman publicly breaks with a president from his own party, it signals that defending the president has become more politically dangerous than holding him accountable. Claims of a partisan witch hunt lose credibility when the president's own party leads the charge. History offers parallels. Richard Nixon resigned after Republican senators privately told him he no longer had their support. Following the Watergate scandal, Bill Clinton faced resignation calls during the Lewinsky scandal, but those efforts never gained bipartisan traction because his misconduct did not directly implicate national security. During Trump's first impeachment over Ukraine, Republicans largely held the party line. This time they have not. Legal and military experts say the allegations outlined in the memo represent a serious breach of civil military norms. According to the document, Trump allegedly ordered delays in authorization for 3 time-sensitive military operations involving intelligence gathering and force protection in hostile regions. The memo reportedly includes Trump's explicit demand that the delays remain in place until certain generals agree to campaign appearances and public endorsements. If true, this was not merely an abuse of power. It was the use of military readiness as political leverage. Republicans now face an impossible dilemma. Defending Trump risked justifying actions that allegedly endangered American lives. Rejecting the allegations requires believing that multiple senior lawmakers from both parties are lying about what they reviewed in a secure facility. Legal scholars across the political spectrum agree on the seriousness of the accusations. Harvard law professor Jack Goldsmith stated that, if accurate, the actions would violate the president's fundamental duties as commander-in-chief. Thanks for the watching.